Hello, hi sir. Uh, I remember mm, when I met you. Uh, you made a very careful and uh, very uh, careful attempt to say my name, to say M Zafir, right? Now, now for me, this urge to call myself by a chosen name is it seems to me it is something by which I give onto myself a sense giving. Now I don't I am probably going in a like I'm probably obscuranting what I wish to put out here. What I'm saying is that uh, like in approaching this question of that I wanted to ask you, which is what is philosophy? Who is a philosopher? Rather, I am quizzical as to like what um, what this means for me. Like starting out, not to say like when does a person know that oh, I'm philosophizing, or I'm a philosopher. Oh, or this is philosophy and this is not. And so that is my question to you, sir. Who is a philosopher? What is the work
I
of
think it is
philosophy?
already.
Is it work? Like is philosophy work, or is it something else? Like what are we looking at here?
So, very good evening to my dear friend M. It is already declared that in Indian sense it is seeing, and philosophy in Western sense it is thinking. Philosophy in terms of Western attitude or outlook, this is one who think or who can think, who can philosophize a fact, and in India, a philosopher is seer. Seer is a philosopher, one who can see. So when one limits oneself to think about form, seeing form, think philosophy.
Sir, let me
And when
interrupt
one
you. Let me
see,
interrupt you. I'm so sorry. This I'm stowing. I'm throwing a stone at a train of thought. But like it just so happens that our connection isn't working. So like this would be pointless. Because we're getting like a like I'm not quite getting your face, your visage.
no, I'm just finding terms. What is already said and what we talk about. It is already that a thinker is a in sense of the word, and in the Indian sense of the word, one who can see, who can perceive, is a seer, philosopher in India. Now, we can say it in one sentence that when we don't limit our consciousness to the form, we become seer, and when we limit ourselves to the form, this is philosophy. Because if form shapes our consciousness, it shapes our consciousness. And when we transcend it, when we look at a form and transcend at the same time as well, this is actual seeing. This is from Indian sense of word. This is how I can say hermeneutically.
Right. So, hermeneutics. What is that? And like, if it's a matter of form, can I can I extend that to say, oh, it's philosophy is a matter of formality. So if I'm sitting on a chair, and with this connection that I have with you, this tenuous connection that I have with you, uh, is this form of interaction uh, giving us a certain philosophical sense? What is this sense, and is and what are the other forms in which uh, this sense giving can exist?
So, if I take your question as a departure point, I would say that philosophy simply means thinking, thinking about matter, thinking about mind, thinking about mind matter relationship, and to go beyond that. The limit of philosophy in the sense of the Western world, how Westerners look at the thing. What is philosophy? From Heidegger to Kant and David Hume, all Aristotle to Kant and Schopenhauer and other philosophers. This is the key point or the departure point. But when we go beyond mind, this is seen in the Indian sense of the word. That's why Indian saints are called seers, one who can see beyond, or one who can transcend the activity of mind. So if it is clear, then we can go further. And hermeneutics means understanding a thing by the understanding of interpretation. A very good philosopher from linguistics, Hans Gadamer, who lived a long life of 102 years. He was a German philosopher, and he initiated some books like Truth and Method, Beginning of Philosophy of Beginning or Beginning of Literature. So Truth and Method is his magnum opus, the representative book. He tried to interpret the very word hermeneutics. Hermeneutics were the people in ancient Greek when the language of Greek was not there in the Greece. Then the hermeneutics were those who tried to communicate the messages of gods, the messengers of gods. They were called hermeneutics. Then this word went astray, obsolete, and in the 19th century, in English literary, European English criticism, this word was recoined by the philosophers of linguistics as to interpret, means how to read an ancient text or how to read a biblical text. Now, in 21st century, this is not confined to the biblical text only. This is the understanding how to read any text, how to interpret any text, especially the ancient text, with the help of reception theory. Reception theory means reception aesthetics, that implies how we are going to approach an ancient text, for example, Veda or Upanishad or Natyashastra or Aristotle's physics, in the context of now with the capital N. Now, how I am going to receive the message of Aristotle from his book Physics. Gadamer also wrote about an illustrious article on Aristotle's physics, and he says Aristotle was a mature Socrates. But hermeneutics is the science of interpretation. How I am going to interpret now the Veda, the Upanishad, the Marxist theory, the linguistic theory, and other theories in the area of language, in the area of philosophy, or in the area of philosophy of language. This is the whole of precisely the introduction about philosophy, how to philosophize through interpretation.
So, uh, well, there seems to be other ways to philosophize. Also, like if interpretation seems to be one way, so like I am interested in asking you, like, are there divisions to this art of thinking when you say that there is a philosophy of linguistics? uh, Unbeknownst, is there linguistics in philosophy? Is like is or are there like really brick and mortar divisions between, say, the Orient and the Occident, the Indian and the non-Indian, the linguistic and the semantic, and so on and so forth. And do philosophers squarely work within these boundaries, or um, do is there some is there some link are there some linkages there, or does the work of philosophy exist through linkages, or something else entirely? What are the divisions in this art of
This is
thinking, if it's an art?
one single mind. This is one single thing that is called mind. Mind that is now in action, and language is the equipment or device of mind. Mind consists of image and words resulted in language, and linguistics is the anthropological and hermeneutic study of language. This is linguistics. There are so many philosophers in the area of linguistics. Now, if we approach mind directly, then we can understand all the areas and all the links and all the categories that creates mind only. All schools of thoughts, all streams of thoughts that emanates from mind only, human mind. Now, what is mind? Mind is the result of matter, or mind is the response of matter, or mind is the bundle of thoughts only, because our action is the response of thought. Thought is the response of memory. Memory is the bank of old impressions from time immemorial. So, memory, thought, action. After the action, it becomes experience that rememorizes in the again that bank, that memory. So we are caught in the network of thought, memory, thought, action, experience, rememorize. So this is the circle. If we come out from this particular circle, this is not vicious circle but circle, then we can look at the things directly, instantaneously, straight. Otherwise, we will go around and around and around in the area of thoughts and mind. Now there are certain philosophers, they describe things from India, from European countries. We know some of them, from Socrates to Kant. Even Bertrand Russell used to say, still Kant is not ever read properly. If we go through his three major books, three major critique of pure reason, critique of practical reason, critique of judgment, we have not gone through properly these three books as Bertrand Russell used to say. Similarly, if we approach Veda or Upanishad, the Vedanta and the Indian philosophy, we are still not in the position of accessing the essence of those texts. So my suggestion is here to look at the past or things with the eyes of the present, from present now. Means the fresh eyes, not clouded by the all attitudes and opinions and thoughts. So the question is, can we look at a theory? Can we look at a thing with this fresh eye, bereft of all attitudes, devoid of all minds or shadows of mind? This is my question. Is it possible?
I think that either there uh, uh, exists something at that singularity that we are calling mind, that is pre-structured, that has limbs, so to speak, or either it is a blob or a ball from which shoots out into like a it seems to me like a three or a four dimensional space and time, like making its way through something that seems to me is the very stuff of life. uh, uh, I uh, will say that I am skeptical that the way that cause and effect that you underline, that you repeat for me, that I'm skeptical, and I hope I would would think that you might share the skepticism with me, that are there interruptions and eruptions and repressions and deceptions to the chain of cause and effect that you uh, so finely described.
No, again, my question is it possible to look at the chain of cause and effect or the uh, theory of causality from the point of view which is out of the chain of cause and effect, from a platform
In a
that
word, no. In
this
a word, no.
causality, okay, but is it not possible to look at it by detaching my mind, by detaching my mind? Because how to look at the mind? Mind is a projection of brain, or brain is a projection of mind, or mind projected itself by saying that I am a certain entity and my place is in the brain and my ground form is body. I am the subtle form of body. So this is all the position of mind. If we deny the existence of mind, then only we can come out of the chain of law and law of causation or the chain of cause and effect. But if we are in the train of cause and effect, we cannot decipher the essence of the law of causality. A train is moving towards your eye. You are standing at the platform, railway station, and train is passing. So you can see the train objectively, very beautifully. But if you put a book on your eyes, you cannot read, you cannot go through. There must be a distance. So, how to create that particular distance before me, who is going to decipher the chain of cause and effect? How to create that distance, that detachment? It is only possible when we come out from the chain of cause and effect, and it is possible. Don't you look so?
Sure, like I do believe that uh, we're not simply neurons firing here and there. it's also there seems like there is a point where the psyche consciousness turns around and looks at its own effects. uh, but like it's always for M, always uh, in a happening. It's always uh, existing in, within, and among phenomena.
But in fact, exists disregarding the presence of M or the presence of G, right? Fact is a fact. Fact is what is happening now, right? So fact is regardlessly existing of both of us, our existence. But there is fact. But how we are going to approach that fact? How we look at that fact? Who is looking? Because our see what our brain knows. So whatever we feel in the brain from theories, from philosophies, so we apply those philosophies or theories as language on the fact. My question is it possible to look at the fact without declouded analysis? This is my question.
While I would grant that there is an out there, that there and that out there-ness, like the certainty of it, the rigor with which, say, the space of mathematics arranges numbers for us, uh, they seem to be like, if you take whole numbers, real numbers, they are whole numbers, they are equidistant, like 0 and 1 is the same difference as 1 and 2, and such and such. So there seems to be a certain out there-ness that we can grasp, that we can reach out to, but there always is a tending towards, and never a completion uh, 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 of it. The 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 mind and the body, they do not dance, they do not drift away from each other. And so like, no matter how much navel gazing one would do to remove the excesses of the body, to remove the perception of pain, to remove the perception of anything, but that out there-ness and fact, it also remains that pain itself, or feeling itself, is a part of the neural network of that brain. Won't you say that?
Yes, but you are or I am. You don't deny this fact. This is a fact that
Yes,
I am,
yes,
or this is a fact that you are,
yes,
right? And there is a mind, there is a thinking faculty that divides with you and me. So we can begin with this fact that I am, then I am thinking about the outer world or myself, right? One who is thinking about the outer world or about the self, the content of that self is common to both of us, to you, to me. The content of consciousness or the content of mind is the same in all human consciousness, right? Now, I am going to think about any matter in mind. What is this thinking? Is it possible to look at a thing without thinking, or we are obsessed to look at a thing with the device of this thinking faculty of mind? Without thinking, can we look at a flower or the beauty of a sunrise or sunset? Himalaya, I can look at you without thinking, without assessing you, your form,
Right.
your name, your vision, your perception, everything. Now, this is fact, or this is I am projecting towards this form. This must be a question. What is there? Who is thinking? And what if there is any entity behind this thinking faculty? One who thinks, or one transcends this thinking process, the entire thinking process. Is transcendence possible? Because outer world may be the position of our own mind. Maybe the entire world, the physical world, is then outer. But what we think or what we can think is always about an object, a person, or a thought or idea. Except these three things, one cannot think. Either we think about a person, either we think about an object, or we think about an idea or philosophy. But maybe life is far beyond that, far beautiful, and more than that.
Or we're thinking about thinking, like we're delineating
Yes.
thinking. What
Yes.
which seems to be the question that hangs heavy of late. That what what is this wonder uh, where we can perceive and also add to that perception a certain sense which that perception in itself did not possess.
No, the simple question is, can we look at a thing? Can we look at our life by not thinking, by coming out from the process of thinking or thought, with not by not taking any help of mind? Is it possible? Because
I would
we
say
are
that
living now.
depends on. I would say that depends on what thinking would be in a crass definitional sense. Like what is like the uh,
Sudden flash of consciousness. Sudden flash of consciousness. But we are talking about, is it possible not to be dependent on mind? We can see independently, is it possibility? Is it a possibility? If it is, then we can look at any philosophy or any theory with a fresh perception. Otherwise, we will repeat what is already written in the books, compiled in the Google or social network. We
yes,
can we can come forward with the best idea or fresh idea or original idea that would be creative, because creativity means new and original. So if we don't repeat our mind, our thoughts, because mind is repetitive, mind is past, mind mind consisting of all the past impressions, it cannot think anew, afresh. So in this first our discussion, we are discussing that we are going to look at certain things like philosophy or vision with the fresh perception, not from the past, not with the help of mind, because mind cannot be afresh also. Mind cannot solve any problem. Mind cannot give true glimpse of the truth or fact. And we are concerned to truth only, the beauty of truth, the beauty of truth, right?
right, right. Granted, definitely. When we look at the singularity of the mind concept, and when we search in the thinking mind, the 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 transcendence of that idea of thought of mind, and what are the implications of of a, 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 a thinking quest of thinking? What are the implications of putting thought to that overdrive which perhaps is
Putting thought in exile.
transcendental?
Putting thought in exile. Better word is putting thought, putting mind in exile. Right? So I think the first implication is living in the living happily in the present moment, living happily in the life. Because the quest is always of the all humanity how to live happily, how to live peacefully, how to live thoughtfully, right? And there are so many demands and commands from society, from family, from person to person, how to live freely, happily, with full of love and peace. I think this is the only quest of human race, how to live without fear, without seeking security of life.
In I would say
It
in
is,
good.
I think,
Hmm.
our quest is clear.
Hmm. Yeah, but in good faith, then the society has, like the society or a society has constructed its imperatives based on the this idea of well-being that thinking thought holds, like thinking thought, that's a I mean thought holds, like
Yes.
and then it seems to me that there is then a distinction or a clash between what is pre-existing in how happiness has been imagined and how it continues to be imagined underneath the uh, previous layers of imagination. What do you want to tackle this?
I think thought, thought and imagination are two different in art. I am thinking that after this conversation, I will have to go for to go to the mechanic of my motorcycle or bike. That is thought. Okay. And imagination is certain butterflies are coming out from my eyes. So imagination is always spontaneous. Imagination is always fresh and interesting and beautiful. My these two hands have now become wings of a bird. This is imagination. Okay, and I have to pin down certain poem and type. I have to type in my laptop. That is thought, past, present, future, and imagination always works in the present moment. So I think this is the demarcation life of thought and imagination. Though imagination is never based on thought, but it can take images from the thought or past memories. So shall we set some themes for our discussions, for our further discussions here?
Yes, Gautam sir, for sure. I suppose, like I where I was trying to reach with this idea of which we sort of culled out from this conversation of mind and consciousness rather, and its transcendence. I was wanted to turn it to this discussion of like the kind of technocratic space in which we are right now talking to each other, where like it seems that in maturity a certain philosophical instinct has imagined that singularity for us. And
But pre-understanding is important.
yeah,
Pre-understanding is important that we already have. So we can discuss on this particular theme you are discussing in our next episode.
for sure, sir. For sure. I'm I'm a little sad to say that like initially your video was absolutely frozen, so we could not see your beautiful chehra, sir. So that couldn't happen. But
Actually,
lately,
yeah, yeah, because, I think due to temperature or fog, there's so many, there are too many fogs, but we are engulfed in the foggy Banaras now.
as we are
So
also
that engulfed.
engulfed in the foggy digital Banaras also. Let's just say that.
So audio is clear, but video is not clear. Okay, we can go through this foggy winter. That is less important than our thought, our discussion, your smile. That is more precious in comparison to that foggy virtual conversation, right? So we can sum up here,
Yes.
and we can go next episode with certain theme, certain point, like aesthetics of mind or consciousness, this kind of thing in art and philosophy, right?
Right. Just to give our viewers uh, a recap, we talked about the idea of thinking, the duality between like correct me if I'm wrong, sir, the duality between mind and body, between mind and uh, feeling, and we discussed how there could be philosophers of linguistics and there could be a linguistics of philosophy, and we also touched upon an idea of what causes and effects are studied through this art of philosophy, if I can call it that, and the disinterest of individuals towards certain philosophic modes of thought, and we also discussed the concept of repeating, and what it could mean, how it could be seen as repetition, and that's where we kind of more or less ended. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Gautam, sir. Thank you. It was lovely.
Beautifully, beautifully recapitulated by Anne.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
so much.
Okay, sir. Good night, sir.